I'm crocheting all 50 cards from this Granny Square card deck, and I'm sharing the 5 that I crocheted this week for Granny Square Sunday. Hey, it's Tammy, Crafty Mompreneur. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Today I'm excited to share with you another episode of Granny Square Sunday. This is a series that I'm doing where I am taking on the challenge to crochet all 50 cards from this original Granny Square card deck and showing them to you on Sunday. Now you may be thinking it's only 5 squares a week, and I get it, but it's market season and Granny Squares isn't something that I have very much experience with. Some of these Granny Squares have been a bit of a challenge for me, and I've had to look up stitches and rip them out, and like, your girl doesn't have a lot of experience with Granny Squares. So I'm putting the Granny Square card deck to the test for a newer Granny Square creator and just seeing how it is. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 cards that I crocheted this week from the original card deck. We're going to then compare the cards that I crocheted from the original deck to the cards from the dupe deck, just to see if there's any similarities or if they're totally different. Then I'm going to be using your guys' comments from last week's video to pick the cards for next week. I'm also going to be sharing with you 5 ideas to inspire you to create something with Granny Squares. Because quite frankly, I don't know what I'm going to be doing with these 50 squares when I'm done with them. I really need ideas. And so if you have ideas on things that you can make with Granny Squares, as always, feel free to drop those into the comments so I can search up some ideas and find some projects to make with these Granny Squares. So let's get to the video. So as a reminder, here's all the yarn that I used for this week's squares. I'll tell you, this week's squares, they challenged me a little more than previous weeks. I would say that every single one of the squares I made this week gave me some sort of like, I don't know how to do this. So they're not my best work because I struggled. And I'm going to tell you what I struggled with on each one of them. So let's start with the first one I made this week. This is the first one I made. And here's my version. Is that the right side? Yes. And you can see it's not right. Like, it's not perfect by any means. Like, this section is bigger than this section. I didn't know what was going on with the edges there. I mean, it's pretty cool, I guess. And, I got the colors right. But it was a tough one. I don't know. It was this part right here, like bringing them in. It was hard. This one was a challenge, and I'm like, oh great. If this is any indication of how this week's squares are going to be, I'm in trouble. And I moved on to the next one, and I thought, oh, I know this stitch. And I thought for this one, just looking at it, it's doable, and I think I'll be okay. And it's just a couple color changes. Well, it looks okay, but I gotta tell you, it was not as easy as it looked. I mean, I love how it turned out. My only issue with this square is that I didn't really know how to carry the yarn, like from one to the next. And you can kind of see on the back, the blue yarn. And so, I don't know. I think it'll be okay when I use it on a project, but I personally can still see the blue through the white. So I'm not really sure on this one. Okay, the next one that I did was this one. Okay, I was good. Like actually, the very first round, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Because I'll show you, I'm going to just show you like my imperfections, because as I've mentioned in previous videos of this series, if you want to check out all those videos in this series, I'm going to link it here. I am not claiming to be a Granny Square expert extraordinaire. In fact, I've only been crocheting about 2 years, not quite 2 years yet. And so Granny Squares are definitely not on my list of things that I'm really good at. I'm learning as I go. See how I messed up? Even the magic circle. Like, what is that? What did I do? I think I added an extra one or something, or I miscounted. But anyway, here's the next one. The colors look great, right? But then this little long single crochet business, I was like, what in the world is this? I don't even know. And then I had another popcorn stitch here, which threw me for a loop because I don't love the popcorn stitch. So yeah, this was my third one. I mean, from far away, they look great, right? Up close, I'm gonna just cover it up. Just cover it up because it's not that great. But it's done and the colors are good, right? Moving on to the next one. This is probably the one that was the easiest for me. And I think I really like this one a lot. It's this one. And here's my version. And the reason why I like this one is because this is your basic granny square. Like when you're doing beginner granny squares, this is it. And then this is just another pattern. And so I really love how this one turned out. This one's my favorite as far as how well I did with it. And then the last one, last week I was like, ooh, that was so pretty. I loved this one. I love the colors. It actually reminded me of one of my daughter's dresses from when she was little. It was exactly this color scheme. And so I was really excited to make this one. And once I started making it, I realized the 2 rows in, I was like, oh, this one's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I did a time lapse of me crocheting it. Here it is completed. Now this one did give me a little bit of problems. I had to rip out a couple areas and it's definitely not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. I would probably make this one again and make it into something because it is really pretty. So here's all the granny squares from my previous weeks. I'm storing them in this bin and we get to add this week's squares. And now we're going to be comparing the cards I crocheted this week from the original deck and the corresponding numbers from the dupe deck. As you can see, none of the designs are the same, and I actually haven't yet crocheted any from the dupe deck. It could be something that I do in the future, but right now I'm really just focusing on the original. There's only so many ways that you can make a granny square, and while there are tons of different designs out there on the internet, the thing that was duped about this whole thing is the idea for a card box and then using the designs, you know, using the same design on the dupe deck as opposed to the real. So it doesn't appear that the same graphics were used on the actual cards themselves. And it's to be seen yet if the directions on the dupe deck will indeed crochet a granny square. If your box doesn't look like this, a nice big thick box, very high quality with the barcode on the back and really sturdy, and it looks something like this, very small, not the same thing. This is the original creator. As far as I know, this is coming back in stock sometime in November. If you're ordering from somewhere here in the US, you're likely going to be sent a dupe. One way that you can tell if you're ordering from the actual author and you're going to get the original deck is if you're on Amazon or something like that, they'll have the store name on it. If it's not Claire Montgomerie, then you're probably getting a duped deck. Now it's time to pick next week's squares. And in last week's video, I asked you guys to comment your favorite number from 1 to 50 in the comment section, and you guys delivered. So thank you so much to everybody who commented on last week's video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to write down all the numbers that you guys suggested and write those down, and then I'm going to be drawing the numbers from a hat. So this is going to take a little bit, but just hang with me. Okay, now I've written everything down, and now I'm just going to be cutting them out. Okay, this is a really scientific way of doing this, but I did write down everybody's number that they suggested on these little sheets of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop them in this little box, put them in here, and then I'm going to pick the first 5 numbers, okay? And then we're going to go through the card deck and make sure that I haven't crocheted those numbers yet. And if I need to redraw because I've already crocheted that one, then we will just draw another number. So here we go. First one is 17. 17. 48. 6. 10. And last one to try is 32. Okay, so these are the numbers that I drew. Just so you know, these are the actual numbers. Now what we're going to do is go through the card deck, make sure that they are still in here and they haven't already been crocheted. So I think, oh, they're not in number order, so this could take a while. I think 31's already been done. I have a better system for next week, so just bear with me for this week. I'm just still figuring out as I go. So 31's already been done. This one was 31. So let's pick one more number. One more. 46. Did someone already pick that one? So this one's 46. So let's see if it's here. Yes, 46 was done already. This one was 46. So gotta pick one more. Hopefully this is the last one. 17. I think we just picked that one. Yeah, 17's been done. About 36. 36. Let's see if 36 is available. Already did 36. Okay, we'll try it again. 25 is done. 32 is done. Okay, hopefully this last one will be the one. 33. Yay, I found one. Yay, we found one that I haven't done. All right, so this one's 33. So these are our cards for next week. And special thanks to everyone who participated and to those of you who picked these numbers: 48, 10, 25, 28, and 33. Don't forget to drop your numbers in the comments of what cards you think I should crochet next week, and we'll see if your card is picked. And now it's time to gather the yarn for this week's squares. So let's load it up. So it doesn't look like we have quite as many skeins of yarn to use. I'm gonna try and fit it all into this little bin. This is all the yarn we're using this week, and I was able to fit it in my little bin this time, so that's exciting. With all these granny squares, I really don't know what I'm going to make with all of them yet. I have some things in mind, but I'm not actually even going to do anything with them until all 50 are done, and I can color match them and kind of figure out what I want to do with them all. Now I want to share with you 5 different granny square projects that you can use granny squares for, and that I'm considering using when I finish this project of 50 granny squares. So I am taking your suggestions from the comment box and searching up ideas on Google. So some of these are from you guys. The first was a tissue box cover, and I don't know about you, but we definitely have tissue boxes in our house, and I thought this one from Ophelia Talks was super cute. Looks like it takes maybe 4 granny squares and then some little mini ones on the top. So I thought that this one was really cute. I will be linking all of these projects in the description box below. The next one that I found that was kind of inspired by my oldest daughter. She works a job where the AC is on pretty high, and she was telling me the other day that her hands were getting these hives. She's actually allergic to the cold, and she gets hives when she's too cold. And I thought of these little fingerless gloves for her, honestly, and I'm not sure if she's gonna watch this video or not, but I thought these were a super cute way to use, maybe, I think it's probably like 1 or 2 granny squares. I didn't actually look at the pattern yet, but I thought they were a cute idea. The next one's kind of a basic scarf. With winter right around the corner, this could be a good option. Looks like it uses 8 granny squares, and then you do the granny square pattern in between it. But again, it's called Square Scarf. And this one is also a free pattern. It is makeanddocrew.com. So again, I will link all these in the description box. The next one is this crochet book sleeve, and I'm not really sure if she would use it or not, but I kind of was looking at book related stuff because my youngest daughter loves to read. So I thought a book sleeve would be a fun way to use up a few granny squares. Looks like it probably takes 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 or 8, probably 8 maybe. This one does say it's an advanced beginner tutorial, but it is also a free tutorial. And the last one came as a suggestion from you guys in the comments, and it's just a granny square blanket. And I don't know, I've only made 1 granny square blanket, and I didn't have like a pattern of how to join them. I just had done a crochet along with Crochet Bouquet by Jen. I will link it in the description box below. And I didn't really have a specific layout or a pattern or anything as to how I was going to make that blanket. And so I was just joining it however. So having a tutorial or a pattern or something to follow as a way to join them, I felt like this blanket was a good inspiration for kind of the style of granny squares that I was making and the colorfulness. So I just thought it was really pretty. So there you go, 5 more ideas for you for granny squares. If you want to catch up the previous ones that I've shared, I will link that video here. And again, every week I'm going to be sharing 5 different project ideas for granny squares. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe because I share videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So be sure to turn on that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.